This is a presentation of Week 8 Business Model Canvas. After 8 weeks of the course, I've narrowed everything down, focused down to this single idea of creating online courses to teach online education users how to make video games on Udemy. So uh, this whole process has really helped me to shave down all the different ideas that I had going, as going through the process, and really considering, what's the most important thing for me, and factoring in the idea that I have very limited time resources available um, to do anything fancy, and my main goal isn't to create a Fortune 500 company, but really to focus on building a brand for myself, and also learning how to uh, create compelling, engaging online content, and then really kind of building a community that will hopefully follow me through a longer term, and hopefully build momentum that way. So, looking at the size of the opportunity based on what Udemy professes, then we're looking at somewhere around 2 million students, and they have a worldwide community going on. Based on some of my research, looking at the counting up and throwing in the numbers on a spreadsheet, I found out that about roughly about 55,000 students are taking online courses related directly to game development. So that's a mix of both paid and free content. Out of those, Udemy is hosting about 28 paid game design courses. So these are my direct competitors, and so 28 isn't that bad. And they're currently serving, as I counted up as of today, a little over 18,000 students. So I figure if I look at it at a conservative level, if I capture about 10% of that total number, and if I sell about $19 per course to that 10%, then that would gross me at least 34,000 over $34,000. So that's not bad, and that's again a conservative thing, and that's one course. So and obviously at the lower price point. So if I were to create a larger course, more involving, more technical course, then I can definitely charge for more. And if I capture more students, that number is going to go up too. So um, that takes us to the initial business model canvas. So this is where I started, and my initial thoughts were to kind of leverage my past summer camp experience of teaching middle schoolers how to make video games, and translating that into something that I can do on a regular basis. And that didn't really pan out because of my interviews with parents and their preconception of video games in general, and the fact that they weren't really willing to open their wallets and checkbooks to pay for more screen time for their kids. Also, the whole issue of satisfying both the middle schoolers and their parents made things a bit more complicated. Also, the whole idea of doing live instruction just did not make sense in terms of the most efficient use of my time. So that takes us to the whole evolution of the business model canvas throughout this course. So it started out with middle schoolers and their parents, as my main customer segments, and then really transitioning over to to more of working professionals, adults who have already purchased online courses, specifically on the Udemy platform, and are used to participating in those online courses, and they're willing to pay for multiple courses, and they have a wide range of tastes and interests. So, I would be targeting a user base that's kind of already used to purchasing online educational content, and they use it, they buy a lot of it, and for themselves and for family members. And so these are individuals who are probably older in terms of demographics than what I was initially thinking of. But definitely, they would have more disposable income. Some of the soccer moms that I talk to, they have the actual time to go into these courses, and so it makes a lot more sense for me to target these individuals. They're kind of the already captive audience there on Udemy. In terms of the evolution of my initial thoughts in terms of my value proposition, it changed from live instruction to just getting online courses on pretty much anything and everything available, narrowing down to one single platform. Really, the focus was to maximize my time efficiency because I have very limited time resources, and so I really wanted to make sure that whatever I delivered or attempted to deliver in terms of a value proposition was able to work with my existing time situation. So Udemy gives me a best of both worlds where they take care of all the hosting, all the infrastructure, all the payment processes, and all I have to really worry about is really delivering very high quality content and then maintaining the relationship with my customers. So essentially my learners, my students, and that I can continue to grow them, get them to buy more of my courses, and eventually, hopefully, leave Udemy behind and move on to my own personal website where I can capture more of the revenues. But in the meantime, I'm pretty happy with the 50-50 split. That's fine. I don't have to worry about spending a lot of time doing all sorts of different things just to get the business up and running. So this is the final version of the business model canvas that I ended up with. So it's much more streamlined, much more focused. Again, it's everything is really kind of focused on delivering content as opposed to a lot of administrative type things. So that's definitely a sweet spot that I wanted to get to, and I'm glad I got to this point through the process. So in terms of whether this business is really viable, I look at it from a more conservative mode. So I'm not fooling myself into thinking that this is going to be like the next great thing since sliced bread. It's really going to be something that would be supplemental to my kind of regular income. I'm not going to be retiring early because of this kind of thing, at least not right away. So very conservatively, if I were to take that initial number of a little over 18,000 students who are currently consuming and paying for game design related content on Udemy, if I were to capture a mere 10% of that number, and then if I can deliver a course that that would amount to a value of $100 per student. And then factoring in the revenue split plus the cost of the payment processing, then that leaves me with roughly 37% gross. And so looking at my and breaking that down to monthly revenue, then we're looking at about $560 per month. Looking at my operating costs, since I already own all the tools of production, so I already have a computer, recording software, and everything else. The game engines that I would use are free to use, so I don't have to pay for anything there. So really, I'm looking at the internet costs and the electricity that I use to power my computer, and basically those are the only real costs that I can think of in terms of operating costs. So factoring that in, I'm looking at about $393 per month, and that's with selling one single course at $100 and capturing about 10% of the current student customer base. So extremely conservative, but at the same time just this kind of basic thing I can see I can definitely make at least a little bit of money even with one single course for an entire year. I'm definitely not going to settle for just delivering one single course. I'm probably going to be doing a number of courses over the year, and so and charging different rates, obviously depending on the complexity and the length of the courses. But I can definitely look at reducing my operating costs. I can go to the public library and save some money there, using the internet, free internet and electricity there. So I can definitely cut down the cost of my operating costs, by $560 per month, doing something like that. So that can definitely improve my bottom line. So from my point of view, I think it's a viable business. That's something I can definitely see myself doing. And in conclusion, really, I think just from this process, I think it's taught me that I can definitely see myself doing this as a part-time thing, and it's not going to be something that I can retire early, or I can quit my day job right away. But I think it's definitely something that can develop into something larger, especially as I grow my customer base, establish longer-term relationships with my customers, and then hopefully move growing large enough to be able to move away from the Udemy platform, and then establishing my own specific brand and course website, and being able to sell additional content that way. So it's been a great experience. I think it's been very productive to kind of evolve my business model canvas over the last couple of months, or a couple of weeks. It seems like months. And so yeah, it's definitely something I'm going to be implementing in the near future. So thanks for listening, and wish me luck.